What's going on, everyone? It's your boy at Big Ed James _36 with my guy Freddie Stevenson, my other fullback. See what I got? See the problem? See right now? See the lighting issues? Like this is what my lighting people
Yeah.
told me. So you gotta have it. I gotta either lift it up so you can see my eyes, but we working on the stuff. If you're watching the YouTube, you know what our show is. Inside Drills. It's hard hitting. We ask the questions. We don't do interviews. We have conversations. As only people who have lived the life can do it. If you know what Inside Drills is, it's not that punk behind 7-on-7 where everybody throws the ball. It's literally there. It's no hiding it, no escaping it. You got to get to it. And sometimes some of the topics are a little bit more tougher an issue. Some of the topics are fun and lighthearted. Today could be either way. We're gonna have a guy who I've grown to respect since his son was being recruited to Florida State, and Rob Deloach. Rob Deloach is unique in the fact that he's got three Division I athletes. So track, football, and basketball. So we love our black father. We love fathers in general, but we definitely love our black fathers. And we're gonna bring Kalen, who's actually come on and emerged. Done a really, really good job this season, making some big plays. And talk about Florida State where it stands now. Hopefully where it's gonna go in the future. And just even this season and what it's like, what it's been like for the different transitions. So those are our two guests today. We go ahead and bring them on. So here we got OG Rob just added, and we got Kalen there. What's going on? I like the hair, Kalen. I like the dreads, man.
Appreciate that.
Where you headed off to? You going to see going to go catch basketball? Can you hear us, Rob?
I don't think he is. Kennedy, you can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
All
Yeah,
right.
Rob can't hear us, and we can't hear him. What I'm gonna tell him to do. Tell him to refresh his browser.
Yeah, that's probably what he got to do. Shoot, the other day, I ain't even tell you. You remember when I had to log out and come back in?
Yeah.
Everybody I saw on the screen, man, except for you, it just said you was loading. I was like, man, I don't know when he finished talking or what. I got to reload.
Well, we'll get Pops on real quick. We'll get him fixed in a second. But what's going on, Kayla? How you feeling? 2 wins in a row. Who would have thought?
Man, them back-to-back wins feel good. We need it though.
Man, what has it been like this season with it being so close? Like you just, you're feeling like you almost there, and it doesn't happen.
You talking about like the game-winning plays, like at the end of the game situation?
Yeah, the end of the game situations, or just the preparation. How's the locker room been as you guys been going through that?
Well, we just try to like lift the person up. As a defense, we try to lift each other up. Try to forget those situations. Those situations can't happen. Right? Those like win game, lose game situations. And I feel like we prepared as a defense to win the game. Like that's what we're supposed to do.
Okay. So what's up with this new physicality, man? Has that always been there? Look like I was with the Notre Dame game. I was talking to your dad, and I was like, man, did Kalen just shed a blocker and then go and then hit somebody? It's like, was that the same Kalen that I? And then I said, then we had a goal line stand. Then we had all. I'm like, man, what's up with Kalen? Like, has this always been there? You just had to you just got tired of people sizing you. You had to go start showing them.
A little bit of both. Tired of people sizing me, talking about how undersized I am and things like that. But that don't mean anything. Football is football. A mindset, and to me, go out there with a mindset that I'm not about to let this dude run me over. I don't care how big he is. I'm gonna still do what I can do.
I like it. Man, I don't shoot. Just build on that. Like, you said you were tired of people trying you. Like, going those first few years without playing, you have people that can go one or two ways. They gonna get discouraged and check out. And then you got somebody that's going, man, they locked in like, man, it's all on me. What direction did you take when things weren't going your way early and you weren't getting on the field like you wanted to? Because I know a lot of us as fans that know the game, we've seen you splash at times and we were wondering why you weren't getting more playing time. So for you on your end, what was your way of thinking during that time when you were just trying to get the opportunity to get on the field?
You know, I can say I did get down at times, like during the process, because I never understood why. But you know, we young, so we all probably all go through that. And then you know, being a freshman in college, you expect to come in and play, but that ain't the case until you like get here. You get humbled, and you realize that it takes more time than what you actually realize. You know, so at a point in time, I just sat in my room and just thought of stuff like maybe this is more time for me to get like development time, you know, because then I know once I get developed, I can go out there and, you know, do what coach want me to do. So I feel like it's all about, you know, just having that mindset, you know, that things may not come like right now. Maybe you might need some time, you know, to develop and things like that. You got to see the process through, but you might not see it the process through at that time. It may take some time, but you know, just to know to stay down and have that mindset that you get better every day and just work and focus on yourself at times.
I think,
Okay. Oh, Papa Deloach, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you
oh,
now.
we
All
good.
right, we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you. We can hear you.
Yeah, to just build on
Yeah.
what you said, I think a lot of people not really self aware. Like that's one thing I prided myself on when I played, and I think it ultimately helped me out. Like when I was tripping, I look at myself in the mirror like, Freddie, you playing garbage. And a lot of people they'll be playing trash and they still want you to pat them on the back and stuff, and you kind of see them they're not truly getting better. Like, man, we can't win like that. And I get a lot of it from my family. Like, how much you think your pops played a role in that? Because what you just said, like that's how I went about business. But a lot of people they haven't been molded that way. So did your pops play a big role in that?
Oh yeah, family. You know, family always gonna be there. That's the people who gonna have your back. You know, through thick and thin, through the downtime. So you know, I always text my pops every day. You know, like you know, things that just going through my head, so he could just help me like throughout the process.
So speaking of the process, so what was it? We'll get back to you, Kaden. What is the process like of having a a kid get recruited? What are some it's just so because we have a lot of parents, so this could be a good opportunity for people to listen to. You know, you got it. No matter how old they get. And I deal with it with coaching too right now. I got to coach my oldest boy. My oldest girl is gone, but like, them your babies no matter what. So what is it like the whole the beginning of that process, and then we'll step into what the college process has been like. That's for you, Rob.
Oh, that's for me.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate enough to have three kids now that went through the recruiting process, and we didn't have the social media aspect when Taylor was being recruited. She was probably the most highly recruited of the three before I was aware of social media, um, and I was a little crazy because I let everybody to the house. I mean, I was booking them twice a day. Didn't understand the process, but once we figured it out, uh, process, it was more so just trying to support all of them, show them everything that I possibly could show them, take them all over the country. As you can see, I'm on the road now heading to VCU for basketball. But um, the biggest thing for me as being a dad and having my wife was just trying to support them. Unfortunately, I wasn't that kid that had the dad that showed up to my high school games or college games or little league games. So I ultimately wanted to be that dad that wanted to support them and be there for everything. Never wanted somebody to say, well, his dad or mom wasn't at the game. Nah, we're going to make the sacrifice, man. So if it means going to work, working late hours, getting up early in the morning, Taylor know, JJ knowing, Taylor know, man, we make the sacrifice to support them.
So with that, what is it? So what is it like? Because I've told people the story about my mama in recruiting before, and my mama was different. Like she didn't understand. Well, again, this is well before social media. This is well before when long distance calling. This is like I believe even then you had to call somebody after 9 p.m. if you wanted to talk to them on a cell phone. My mom asked, but this is just a descriptor. Older white men calling a young African American male, inner city male. That my mama want to know what you want with my son. Why are you calling this boy at late at night and not even acknowledging me? But why are you calling this boy? So how did that? Obviously you had some. Actually, it probably had to be even crazier with the daughter. And then how does that work? How does it like what's the hierarchy? Are they just calling and talking to the kids, or they got to make sure they pass by the person who paying that damn bill first?
Oh, everybody got to come through me. That's one of the reasons why Taylor never ended up to them people down 75 because they were talking to her, not talking to me or her. Me and my wife calling at 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it's like, nah, you definitely got to talk to the adults. But Kellen was a little different, through his recruitment. All of the coaches, I guess, had got the word that, hey, you probably need to reach out to his dad, actually, before you reach out to the kid. And so we had a mutual understanding, a mutual agreement that, hey, I appreciate you recruiting my son, but you definitely got to involve me and his mom.
I got a question for you, Paul. Man, I'm a person, both me and James, people that love to do stuff in the community, love to give back to the kids, the next generation. And that's one thing, me myself, I don't really play about. So for you, and I've seen a lot of people that use the community and use kids and try to manipulate them for their own personal gain. How do you, I see you do a lot in the community. You're a big pillar in your community. And you send a lot of kids off to college, help a lot of people out. How do you balance making a living with helping these kids out? Because I see a lot of people, they only focus on the making a living side versus, actually making an impact. And then you're on the flip side, I see some people that focus so much on the impact that they're kind of losing money at times. So how do you find the perfect balance of the both?
Freddie, I don't know if there's a perfect solution. It's just all about, what you want to sacrifice, man. The biggest thing for me, I never worried about my children, but I always wanted to be that stopgap for kids that maybe didn't have a dad or a mom, or either they couldn't get to the game, or whatever reason. I just know how it was sitting in the stadium at a game, and then you look up in the stands, you didn't have anybody to support you. So with knowing that and being that kid, I never wanted my children to feel like what they was doing was not them or any other kid in the community. So it's just one of those things, man. You just have to make sacrifice, and my wife has been very understanding. I actually carry 2 phones for that very reason, so I can conduct my work business and also conduct things in the community with these young people.
So what kind of response or what kind of thoughts? How does that help you, Kaylin? So like when you see your father doing those different things, and making the sacrifice, what does that make you as a student, as a young man? How does that help make you respond, and how do you see that helping you in your development?
I just appreciate them for everything, because like I said, they sacrificed a lot. They set aside a lot of time, take me and my brother, my sister on like visits and things like that. So, I just feel like I just got to repay them with my hard work. Let them know that, I'm working for them, just like they work for me, and things like that.
Transitioning into something that's not an overall tough question because it happened, but you were recruited pretty highly, but you were recruited by one coach who's no longer here, and then now you've had to come in and you've had to adapt. What has that transition been like for yourself, and how have you been able to maintain and have the success that you've had between two different coaching staff?
I say it's a learning experience, just get to know 2 different people, like in 2 different years. I went in with Coach Taggart. He recruited me through high school. Him and Coach Woody, they would text me every day. And then, when they got fired, it was like a setback. I feel like because they recruited me, and I didn't know like the new coach who was gonna come in because he ain't never recruited me. So it's just like I'm just have to accept who the coach is. Work every day. Just listen to what he's saying and just buy into what he wants to do to the program.
And I think just to build off of that, like you said it, you were in a situation where all you could really do was control what you can control. And looking at this team, man, we talked with Jay Sean and Trey Sean the other day, and they kind of told us how even after going down this season, everybody was still in high spirits. And it kind of hit me because I was like, dang, like, you never know how a team is after taking that many losses. But just looking at this team from top to bottom, I made a tweet the other day, like, you talk about all the old Florida State squads that were tough, mentally tough, but then you look at this squad and the adversity they overcame, and then all the different stories you got individually on the team. Like you had to wait to play. Now you're making a huge impact. You got other guys with crazy stories that were kind of overlooked. So I think it's a great combination and a great foundation that y'all built. And the stories, man, I'm excited about. This is just me shouting you out. I'm excited about what's to come in the season and all the guys we got on this team. Y'all continue to build. But when I looked at that the other day, man, it's crazy. A lot of times, like in the first 4 games, you're not gonna get the results, but you were building the foundation. Like y'all were right up, and now y'all are closing at the end of the games, and there was some hard lessons you had to learn. So I'm just saying, shout out to y'all for not giving up, and shout out to the staff for building. It's crazy, like to have this many guys that underdogs. You feel me? I ain't never really seen that much, but for y'all to come together when a lot of people didn't know if they were gonna have opportunity to win. Shout out to y'all.
So appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, because I was definitely intrigued, and what one of the reasons why I asked that question is not for me. Like I always joke with people, say like when they say something like, hold on, wait a minute, hold on, you said who? Okay, I can go find that out. I go to the source for that one. Like I don't need to read no damn message board to find out about that one. I can go find out about that one. But it was some things that came up. Actually, I need to make sure your dad is on this one so he can be here to make sure he hears this one, because if he got some 2 cents on this one, because it's not hilarious, but it is very much so. OG Deloach. This is why we call him OG Deloach, because if you can say whatever you want to say about him, but if you say the wrong thing about one of y'all, he's like, James, it ain't nowhere for me. It ain't nothing for me to be somewhere in 12 hours. He said I can be somewhere wherever I need to be. But with all the talks toward the end of last season, and there was something that leaked that there was like, I think it was like 16 something players talking about transferring out. How do you ignore that noise and then just focus on what it is? Or how do you ignore that noise?
I could say, I just focus on myself. I'm a distant person, so I don't talk to people too much, and I don't let too many people get around me. So I just stay to myself. People always gonna say they're gonna transfer. So you can't listen to them because that's not their decision. Don't make your decision. Because my decision was to come to Florida State. I believe that I'm gonna stay here forever, thick and thin. I'm gonna be here because this is what I wanted to do. I didn't want to choose no other university.
And that's what I was telling people. And this is where our show is different. I would tell people inside fifth quarter or anywhere else that I was like, you guys don't understand what it's like to be in the locker room or be that age. I was like, hell, my freshman year, I was transferring out every other week. And it wasn't because of anything bad. It's just for one of the first times in my life, I played, but I didn't play I wasn't playing like I had been used to playing. I was the best everywhere I had been. So I had to go through something. I had to grind through something. Hell, I was from Tallahassee. I ain't seeing my mama like I want to see my mama. I ain't seeing this. My girl. I ain't got blah blah blah. I'm trying to figure things out, and at the same time, play a game at a high level that's a business. So like I always tell people, I said, man, you'd be surprised who I heard was coming back home, who's going back home, but wasn't coming back in the spring, and then they ended up being a legend at Florida State. So take those things with a grain of salt, and it's good. Like what your approach to it, be like keeping the outside noise distant is the best thing to do. Like we talked about it with the Shawns the other day. So my grandmother's the one who told me nobody told your dumb ass to read. Like, why are you reading these? Why are you reading what these people are saying? She's like, they brought you in here to hit people. She's like, that's the only thing you need to be doing. She's like, you read. She's like, would your feelings have been hurt if you wasn't out here trying to read what the professor ain't give you? And I was like, no, ma'am. She's like, see, reading ain't nobody don't read what they ain't tell you to read.
Yep.
So, but as I said, and I got a chance to talk to. Actually, Fred, I meant to tell you, I talked to Lockett. I think that's his Lovett. Fabian. I actually did talk to him and told him one of the biggest blessings that you'll ever have wearing the Garden of Gold is our fan base. One of your biggest headaches that you're gonna ever have wearing the Garden of Gold is our fan base. So like it's a blessing and it's a curse. So but shout out to that. As a parent, can you hear me? You good with us, Rob? I know you driving.
Yeah, I'm passenger now. Lord
Okay. All right, cool. As a parent, and if Mama Deloach want to chime in and say y'all talk about my baby, I'm gonna cut you. If she want to say,
she driving, bro. I'm holding on. Boy, that's a hell of an experience on I-95, Kellen. Boy, pray for us.
What is it like when you read something and they talking about your kid and they don't know not a damn thing about what's going on with your kid?
Well, you probably know what I want to say, but
you just let them talk.
Yeah.
Let them talk.
Mama say you just let them talk, but I'm a little different. Hey, you focus on the road, lady.
Well, let me put my 2 cents in. Hey, I just tell them. I just say let them talk. I always try to instill in them that they talked about Jesus, but look what his status was, and I leave it like that.
See, that's what my mama said too. But like I told you, my grandmama said, "Stop reading. Don't nobody tell you." Nobody told you. But nah, it is very true. The reality is if they were good enough to be in that position, to be in a position to be talked about, they'd be talked about too. 90% of the people who are saying stuff ain't never lifted a weight in the off season and ain't never had to hit nobody in front of on national TV.
And most of them never played sports. I had, so you just had to take it with a grain of salt, and I had to learn that, especially talking to, some of these podcast folks that I never met, but they're the experts on a child that they just met, male or female, over a recruiting process over a couple of games. But they never know what's going on with the kid, with his family, school, social life, football, and all the stuff that comes with it. So I had to learn that process, and I should have known better. But sometimes, when you're talking about your children, you still got to protect them, because sometimes, they don't know. They still trying to figure out life.
Hey, it's a video out there. A video of some like goofy guy running a 40 in a dome or something. He looked hella goofy. They're like, this is the guy that you arguing with on Twitter about sports. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's a big time draft analyst. Yeah. Up in Indianapolis, boy looked like boy foot ain't getting 1 inch off the ground, and he's the one who's calling people slow. That's the ironic thing about football or sports in general. The most unathletic people talk about how unathletic athletic people are.
It's crazy. I done seen some of these dudes like, shoot, it is what it is inside drill. We say what we want on my show. I done seen some of these dudes that be talking crazy about the players, and then I go see them in person. I'm like, dang, I ain't expect buddy look like this. He built like this. Like, it's crazy to be built funny. But another thing I'll say, when you get that many people on the list, it's certain stuff that shouldn't get outside the locker room. That's a code that was broken. Somebody in the locker room, like, it should never happen. I'm sure they ain't there no more, but that's something that can never happen.
I'm gonna be honest with you on this one, Kevin. This is me just talking to you. I don't know who got to do this, and I'm sure I'll hear about this from Mike. But hey, y'all gotta start whooping smash and stuff like that. Some of this stuff gets leaked out, man. Y'all gotta figure. Y'all gotta find somebody, man. Somebody gotta get jacked up, because even doing the tag stuff, like I would be like, if that's true, how the hell do you know? Like, how are y'all finding out that like nobody should know? These are things that only the people inside the Moore should know, or not even the Moore. What's the? I don't even know what the locker room called no more. But the only it's called what?
It's called the Moore Center.
Oh yeah, so like yeah, only people inside the Moore Center should know that. So, but you know, like I said, that's just people. That's all talk. Moving forward though, like what? So going into Syracuse. Actually, no, because I don't know. Were you on that last play with Jacksonville State?
Was no, I wasn't.
No, he was gone for targeting.
Yeah, I wasn't.
That's right. I hate that penalty. But so, what was the like? Not anything like not call, like. Obviously, people want to know like, dang, I feel bad, blah blah blah. But to go from that to go to was it Wake the next week? Like go to these losses, Louisville, excuse me, then Wake. How did y'all go from that to kind of really the response that you had against Syracuse? Because it was easy to just tank at that point.
But we knew that all our games was gonna be close this year, so we just had a feeling that we were gonna have to, play out and just like deal with it. And then, the mindset we had to carry the way forward. We got to get better. Like we got to keep putting the good stuff on film. We need more 3 and outs. We got to have more contested passes. We got to rush the quarterback and things like that. Like we just got to do what we do the right way, like the little things the right way. Whether it's technique and things like that, we got to focus on the little things, just like the Wake Forest game, and then Syracuse. We just went out there with the same mindset. Like we do this right, then this will happen. We just needed more 3 and outs. Like we get offense the ball. Like the more 3 and outs we get, the more time offense gets the ball. That's what our main goal was.
And I look at that Syracuse game as a defining game of the season. I know we still got so much more to go, so many more games to play, but I feel like, and you can attest to this for me, let me know your thoughts. That game changed everything for a lot of players. Trayshawn and Jayshawn told us everybody was still in high spirits, but at the same time, you still haven't won a game yet. At that point, when y'all won the Syracuse game, I'm going back and forth with fans. They're like, man, they shouldn't be celebrating. I'm like, man, listen, that's a team that got that bear off their back. Like, I don't care what you're talking about. You ain't never played this game. Like, if I done been on a losing streak, we partying tonight because now we're going to turn this season around and finish this thing out strong. And I felt like going into the UNC game, you saw it early. Y'all came out with a different energy, and y'all felt like, all right, we know how to win now. I don't care if it was Syracuse last week. Everybody got to see us from this point on. Was that the mindset after that Syracuse game?
Yes, that definitely was the mindset. People gained their confidence. People came closer. I felt we came closer as a team. I feel like we play for each other. We feed off each other's momentum, man. I feel like that's what we needed, just to gain that momentum off each other, and it just hopefully carry on throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah. We got a question from Corey Watkins. Can Deloach talk about the goal line stop against Syracuse? I guess mainly the second one, I guess. And what was going through your mind? How did you feel about that? Just kind of walk us through that, if what you remember.
What I remember, he had the first touchdown he scored. He got that in on me. So my coach told me in the summer, got to take that off the film. So I get him back. So I knew like in the red zone they like quarterback draws. So I figured that they had the big personnel in. He in the shot formation with the tight end. That's the big block. They gonna run a quarterback draw. This is what I'm trying to get. So I figured I got to get downhill. He was 6'5", 240. So I was like, I got to get stopped before he pick up too much momentum. So that's how the play happened. He ran through the hole, and he ran through the same hole. Hit him up. The rest of the defense grabbed him.
Did Marv get crump like Marv wears brunch boots? Like it kind of throws me off, man. He don't look like a linebacker coach. Like I know he was. I know he was because this video is documented. Like he ain't no chump, but I'd be like, hey, Marv, man, come on, dog. Like we gotta get you to. You gotta look more gully than that, man. You look real. You look very Kappa-ish, very prissy. Like, but what kind of coach? All jokes aside, what kind of coach is Coach Mark?
So Mark, he's a coach that I done learned a lot from. He teaches us everything he knows throughout life. In meeting room here, sometimes, talk about things with life that we need to really start communicating. Like situations that may have, things that he done been through. He can set me down because he done been through. He done played. So he knows like everything. I feel like he knows what it takes. He done coached some good players. He just a good coach.
Shoot, I got a question for Pop. So when Kalen was going through his situation, just waiting for opportunity to get on that field, kind of earn his spot. As a trainer, as a father, what's going through your head, and how you kind of keeping him level-headed through that moment when he got the opportunity?
Kellen knows this story often. We kind of prepare him for adversity long before he got to Florida State. One day we was working out at the factory, and I was on my way home from work, and Kellen's like, "Dad, can you bring me something to eat?" So I'm like, "Okay." So I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, "We got workouts at 5, but he hasn't eaten." So I'm gonna stop by Jersey Mike. I bought him a Philly cheesesteak loaded, and he tried to eat it all before we got the workouts at 5. And you guys are athletes, you got to eat an hour before. So we were doing this certain drill, wall to wall, and we was counting his 5-minute scrambles, and he didn't make it. He didn't make the number. And what we did is line everybody up on the wall, and I boxed Kellen in his chest in front of all of his teammates. And I had to let him know, son, if you're going to be that top dog, you can't be getting lapped. And from that day forward, the gym just took it rose to a whole nother level. Because at one point in his life, he was going to be able to face some adversity and then, just show him how to respond. So, as a dad, you don't want to see your son or your daughter down, but at the same time, you have to teach them how to figure it out. Prepare for mental toughness and things like that. And most people don't know. For me, I got that from my grandmother. She was just a tough woman, and then serving in the military in 2 wars. It's almost like coaches use this term lightly. It's like they prepare kids to go to war. And I have to remind them, you guys are playing a game. War is life and death. And when you have that mentality of trying to get back to your family, your instincts automatically kick in. So it's not about, I don't take it as a game, but I just try to be that supportive dad, just teach them, things that I've been through, and just get them to understand, man, you get one chance at this thing called life. So you have to take advantage of it and, be the best person that you can be.
To build off that, I'm asking Kalen a question. It's 3 of y'all that done had the opportunity to play at the Division I level. And I know how I am with my brothers and sisters. I'm the only one that went D1. But we talk trash in our crib. It was coming up. If my brother have a bad game, he was a hooper. It's like, man, you garbage, you the worst out the family, man. Like, are y'all competitive in the house? Or how is it?
Hey, when we were younger, I used to be like that. I used to tell them, man, beat you in your own sport. That's how I used to do your own sport. You used to believe me. My sister, I used to always. I'm fast as people, but she was always. It's always that competitive. And we need we push each other to be where we at today. We worked out with each other multiple times. We've been there with each other. It crash hard, and then you as a brother and sister, and you push them to be the best.
And that's the benefit of having siblings that R&B one. Like my sister was an all ACC track athlete. She likes to claim that she's the best athlete because
Yeah.
she's been all ACC before. She's competed at nationals or whatever. And I say to her, it's only one of us that people remember at Florida State. So like, what I want to end. The problem with me is when we trash talk, I end. I compete to end it. I don't compete to keep digging along and keep going. I ain't got time for the back and forth. I'll be like, all right, and you keep pressing me like, all right. When we walk into a room, who's gonna know who's who? And then that kind of ends it. But it's awesome to have that. It's also awesome to be able to help navigate that because you're gonna be able to you're gonna have to help your younger brother kind of go through what he's gonna go through at BCU. And same thing with your sister, help him as well. So with all of that, what is actually something we've never asked about? What's your major at Florida State?
Is the social science.
I ain't even hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, social.
You heard me? Said social science.
Yeah.
How everything going with that as far as school? I know I came in as a business major, and it's tough because business take up so much of your time, and football take up so much of your time. So I ended up having to get minor major in social science. So I know exactly like the class you taking. So, but I mean, yeah, some of them kind of get annoying, boring, like you feel like they tedious sometimes, but definitely take advantage, man, because there's some things you can definitely do with it. But like I told the guys on the show the other day, the biggest thing I see so many people go on after college, they got great majors, but they ain't able to get a job, doing relationships. Feel me? That's what it all comes down to.
It's more about the relationship than anything.
The degree ain't worth the paper that it's printed on. Like you got to know some people, so like, and you got again. That's why it's good. One of the things that I found has helped me out, and I've seen Freddie and your dad is amazing with it. I love seeing them do that. But the more you give back, the more you see people. That's one of the best things that you can actually do to keep putting your name out there. So with that stuff that they ask you to volunteer for, if they ever ask like, hey, go speak to this school, go do this, man, go do that. Embrace that community, be out there. What is something that you feel is not missing, but like how close are you guys to that next step? Do you feel like to be able to take that to continue to win games? Because at first it sounds weird coming out of my mouth, right? But when you go 0-4, one thing it sounds bad, but like if you guys can clean up and go and win 7 to 8 games, you realize y'all are actually not in a bad bowl game. Yeah, y'all. It would take some weird occurrences like Wake Forest would have to literally like shut down football. You're not even necessarily out of because of how Clemson's playing. You're not out of what are we in the Atlantic? Yeah, you're not out of the Atlantic already. So what is it like? What is going on in the locker room? What do you guys feel like, man? If we can just get off the field in these third and long situations, or if we can help the offense get field position, what are some of the things that you're being coached to feel like, hey, this is what we have to do to become one of the more competitive teams in the nation?
So I said we continue to work on fundamentals, and continue to push each other. Like you see somebody slacking off, just to push them, motivate them because we got to get right. It's bigger than us. We got to go for each other. You say you want to go to the league, then we got to take plays.
You on mute, Freddie.
A lot of people be scared of calling people out, but a lot of y'all cool outside of the game. I feel like, man, I can't say this my dog. I can't say this my boy. I ain't gonna challenge him on that field. If he got a family, he got to take care of. I got a family, I got to take care of. So if I'm beating him out here, I'm hurting him. I ain't ready for him. So taking that step, I know it's scary for some people. You feel like, man, I may rub them the wrong way. They gonna look back at you later and appreciate you. For some people, I want that guy that I see a lot of people that do it for the coaches. Like they want to be coach's best. They want to get right around in front of the coaches, pull you to the side, like you tripping, dog. Like get in your chest a little bit. So I ain't really care about being seen. But they come back to me like now. It's so many people I played with, and just now that's playing that kind of heard about how I went about business that reach out for advice. They gonna appreciate you later in the long run. So you may rub people the wrong way now, but I promise you it's gonna benefit them in the long run, and it's gonna help you as well.
So talk to me about the factory, Rob. What is the factory and why isn't it for everybody?
Well, the factory it's a gym that we don't advertise. There's no phone number. There's no signs. The kids actually recommend kids. So Kellen was part of that group where kids that he grew up with, kids that he played against, they decided that, hey, they needed a place to get better. And one of the mottos in there, for the gym is that smart beat strong, but strong beat weak. So we actually like smart kids that are strong as well. But it ain't for everybody. It's a mentality. Um, you guys have seen workouts where, I say to myself sometimes, man, hell, I don't see how these kids keep coming back to deal with me and Coach Carter, because it's a whole nother level of training. Yes, you're going to get bigger, faster, stronger, but it's just a mentality of how to work. Ultimately, for us as trainers and African American, Negro, Black dads, we want to create good people. And for most part of it, these kids can play the sport, but they're missing the other aspects of life of how to be a professional. So not only do we, like I said, get bigger, faster, strong, but we teach them how to be professionals in life. Because at some point, as you guys well know, that football is going to end. But if we can create, a good person that can be successful in this world, then that's what we want to create. Kellen understands that his goal is to be successful, and then he comes back and help the next young man or young woman in the community. So the only way that he knows how to be successful is hang around successful people. And that's one of the things that we, instill in all of our young men and women that come through the factory.
So I got a question. Well, I'm gonna make a statement. We all know it's restaurants in every city, every town. They ain't got no number. They ain't got none of that. But then when you pull up, you're gonna see a long line out there. So when you say y'all ain't got no numbers, like, man, they ain't even gotta act. Like it's just that pressure. I done seen the workout put in. When you told me that, okay. Now I got another thing. I always talk about coming to the factory. Always. So one day when I'm over in the area, I'm gonna bring a camera crew out. But on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances of me coming in there, not only getting through the workout, but dominating, coming out like, all right, this one really.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a negative. Freddie, I would invite you to a Sunday workout, and I would just tell you, bring your will, emergency phone number, and we'll locate you next to Ken.
I'm gonna have to be in top shape then. All right.
Well, part of that, Freddie, is
see what level I got to be on, because right now I'm in decent shape, but we're gonna have to pick it up a little bit.
Kellen, tell him decent shape don't matter. Decent is regular.
Yeah, you gotta come in there with that mindset,
That Sunday workout, Freddie, the thing about it is they work out Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. But Sunday, you have to be invited to that workout. So that means you would have had to excel on, your Monday, Wednesday, Saturday workouts to be invited to Sunday workout. And if you're one of those top athletes and you're not there on Sunday, then we normally tell the kids, this is not the place for you. Because we want kids that want to be better. Not only better, on the field, but in the classroom, in life, clean up your room, working out in the community. You have to have those aspects to be a part of the gym.
I'm kind of nervous right now, but we gonna pull up. Listen, I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Hey man, it ain't for everybody, but we'll welcome you in.
All right.
So what is Mike? Who is not what? Yeah, what and who is Mike Norvell like? 'Cause that's what everybody always wants to know. We got to ask him. He's your head coach. Everywhere I go, everybody asks me about Bobby Bowden. I'm sure everywhere Freddie goes, everybody asks him about Jimbo Fisher. So because we have a ton of FSU people who listen to the fan base, what is Mike Norvell? What is Mike Norvell like on game day, practice, or is he pretty much the same guy through and through?
Same guy every day, every day of the week. He coming in with the same energy. He gonna cuss you out in practice if you doing something wrong. He gonna get on you when it's time to get on you. He gonna chill when it's like when you doing what you need to do. So he a good coach. You know he gonna work you though. He gonna put in that work.
What about coach? During the week with Coach Fuller? Because I've actually seen the change. Seems like I'm be honest. I hate words like buy-in and culture. Because you really don't have much of a choice. Like if you don't buy in, you're not gonna play. So like you didn't come to Florida State. I mean, actually, I shouldn't say that. I gotta stop saying that with guys like Myron Rolle being a Rhodes Scholar, guys like David Castillo being a doctor, and numerous others. But I would say about 90% of the guys are okay with getting a degree and a leg up, but the real reason you came was to try to get a chance to go to the NFL. If you cared about academics that much, you could have went to Harvard. But so buy-in is relative. But what is the difference between what you guys? Because it looks like you guys have made. I mean, obviously the fundamentals, but are people really trusting and doing their jobs more under Fuller's defense than they were before, or is it just something like you guys are truly making the adjustment to the next step?
I thought we making adjustments, and we just. So I feel like that spring helped us. We got that like the week before we ain't having spring, so we ain't really have no chemistry. Then again, the first year here. So I can say like now we got the trust, the communication. We got the bond and everything at the defense. Coach Fuller, he been here 2 years. We know what he want and he know what to expect. So I just feel like it's like you got to build the trust.
Pop Deloach, what's some words of wisdom that you can have for young parents that have the young parents that just want their kids to go to college? That are trying to help their kids be successful and put them down the right path. What are some words of wisdom that you and Mama Deloach can give to? I'm gonna take notes on
Um,
this one.
I,
I'm
I
not paying
guess
for college.
I guess for us, man, is actually put them in situations where they can be successful. Um, first of all, you got to focus on your academics. Second of all, you got to willing to put in the work. And a lot of parents want their kids to be this. For me, for all of them, I just let them figure out what they wanted to do. They all ran track, and then at some point they branched out, and Kellen decided to play football, but we never really focused on a position. We just let him play football. And he wanted to play nose guard, he wanted to play D tackle, he wanted to play running back, he wanted to play quarterback, he wanted to play tight end. So we let him do it. And it got to a point that, Ken, I believe, your sophomore year, we went down to South Florida camp, and it was a recommendation made that he needed to move to linebacker because of his body type and the way that he could run. And we got back to Savannah, and we made a transition from running back and wide receiver and tight end, and moved into linebacker. And this worked. This worked. We were fortunate enough to have Chad Sutton, who played at the University of South Carolina with Jadeveon Clowney. He was home, and he challenged Kellen. And him and Kellen had their one-on-ones, and my job became easier. My responsibility to Kellen and Jalen and Taylor was just to be the driver. You know, um, and the other thing with parents is so many people out here claiming to be trainers. And I think that's the biggest. It's like highway robbery out here. That some of these young men and women would take advantage of these vulnerable parents that never played the game, never participated in the game. And when you get to this level, and I'll tell any parent this: if you're training with a trainer and they can't pick up the phone and call a college coach on your behalf or have a relationship with a college coach, then they're probably not good for your, you know, they're making a living off of your son or daughter. So that's what I would tell parents. Do your homework, do your due diligence. Um, when you invest in your time and your money in these trainers. And I just been fortunate enough for me. I've never charged a parent, to help their son and daughter with anything. I just figure it's my obligation to give back. And Kalen can attest to this, and most people that know me, I get the biggest gratification when your son or daughter sign a scholarship to go to college. That's my reward because then I know we got a chance. And we've been fortunate enough to have 25 kids and growing come out of the gym that are going to college.
Now, I gotta touch on something you just said. Like, we don't knock nobody hustle, but what I told you earlier is I don't play about these kids, and I don't play about the community. And I see a lot of these social media trainers like, I done had some hit me and be like, man, you want to get together and do a football camp. Took them through ladder drills, they couldn't even do the icky shuffle. So what you finna help these kids do? Like, what you finna help them do? All you finna do is take their money, because these people looking at you now, oh, this guy has 500,000 followers. Man, these kids finna be on that bench again and their chest ran through by Derrick Henry. You feel somebody like Derrick Henry messing around with you. You can't even go through these drills. So, man, y'all got to do y'all research. I don't care how many likes, how many comments. The factory ain't got no number for a reason. They getting results.
Yeah, the other thing is that, when I do the free camps, I invite all of the kids from our Savannah area that are actually playing college football to come back and put the free camp on, because guess what? I can't do those drills. I'm not an offensive lineman. I'm not a linebacker. I'm not a DB. I'm not a quarterback. So guess what? I bring Kalen and, we invite kids and they put the camp on because guess what? They're role models. And if they can make it from, working on the park, then they got an opportunity to see real life Kalen Deloach, Florida State, national television, not Pops, not me. So the relationship is with, peer to peer. I'm just want to be a parent and try to educate the parents on the process.
And that's so needed, man. So necessary. One of the biggest things that I'm all about is the transferring the information. Again, I think your story is amazing. You're dope. You also make really good oxtails. And and I've seen some of the places that have made me mad that I didn't come back home, where I left Tallahassee too early to where I couldn't get none of the food that Mama Deloach made or that you cooked up. So I'm gonna have to try to hang around one a little bit later. But Kalen really loved the the growth. Keep getting better. Obviously, realize that I out of all the other kids, I'm gonna know who you are because he thought I didn't recognize him at the scrimmage I went to. I'm like, I ain't that. I almost died of COVID. I didn't get blind though. I know who you are. I was like, I was watching because I'm gonna have to report. That's something that again that's a good quality. That's a quality that I always had to make sure of having knowing you got good parents. And you never know where you're gonna be at. Somebody gonna know your daddy. So they always watching, man. So I get that to this day. Somebody that tell my mama I done did something. I'm good and grown. And I said, I'm like, what you gonna do? Spank me, mama? And she said, yeah, I'm gonna whoop you. I like that. Fair enough. Fair enough. But again, just if you don't follow him at Rob_Deloach on Twitter, full of wisdom, full of knowledge. Again, any man who's been able to be in a position to put all three of his children on a Division 1 athletic scholarship. That is not easy task. It's not easy to get one on an athletic scholarship, but definitely when you have three, both him and Mama Deloach should be praised for that. But again, follow him very good, very outspoken, very fair when it comes to things, and also what he's doing in the Savannah community. Somebody who I love being partnered with and try to do stuff. And then also Kalen Deloach, his handles are basically it's his name at Kalen Deloach. I'm a nice young up and coming star. That edit is fire. Who is this chick? I don't even mean that in a disrespectful way. This girl is amazing. Like I want to make sure she gets her props because like I need her to give me an edit.
I don't know who, but I did it on Twitter. She tagged me, so I definitely gotta reach out to her.
Yeah, she did good. So, but again, we don't want to take too much of your time. We know you're traveling. Enjoy your bye week. Please stay out of trouble. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing crazy. Just stay in your room, eat, get ready for UMass because I need y'all to whoop up on Walt Bell and the boys. Go ahead and knock out one of Coach Pimp's running backs if you can. That's my guy. But as long as his interests don't interfere with my interests, is when we good. We'll be friends again on Sunday. Sunday is October 24th. But it's homecoming. Enjoy it. Everybody, if you can, make sure October 23rd you go support FSU. Go to the homecoming game. I don't need all that rah rah rah. We don't need all that. Oh, you're not a real fan. If you ain't in the stands, you ain't a real fan. So just get your ass in the stands. Watch the game. If you can't get in the stands yourself, make sure you hit up at Big Game James _36. Help me get kids in the stands. The tickets aren't that expensive. I believe they're about fifth. They're about. I think they're eight. They're between $8 and $10 this week. I mean, for that week for the game, we want to try to put about 200 kids into in the stands. So make sure you look for that. We're gonna work on that. Other than that, follow Inside Drills. Follow Sports Den Live. Appreciate you, OG Deloach. Appreciate you, Caleb, for coming through.
Hey, man, thanks for having us, man. Kellen, Freddie, James, always remember relationships matter.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for having us.
Appreciate y'all. Before we get off, I found a girl named Chelsea Sermon. So shout out to her for that edit she been doing. It seemed like everybody she did the edit before we got on the show. So hey, keep doing that.
Keep doing your thing, girl. Them edits are the coolest thing about her is we got some good editing people. You got BG. You got well, I can't think of my man name who was working at FSU is not working there.
Hey, Camp.
K Camp, that's right. You got K Camp. You got Maddie Talley, but like this girl's stuff is so different. So like, make sure y'all go support that young sister and as she continues to do those things and support the program. Appreciate y'all, you guys. We'll talk to y'all later.
Peace.